So we had discussed about all the things in that chapter. Today I'll take the highlights of that chapter and make you easy for understanding. So the chapter starts from highlights of the chart start from Oersted discovery about magnetic effect of electric current. So a scientist called Hans Christian Oersted found out that whenever we will make a magnetic compass needle to present near a conductor which is carrying electric current, the magnetic needle deflects, showing that there is a magnetic field around a current carrying conductor. This proved that there is a magnetic effect around a current carrying conductor, that is magnetic field of lines of force are present around a current carrying conductor. So we have to understand that magnetic effect of electric current. If any question arises regarding a magnetic effect of electric current, so it is understood that whenever a current carrying conductor a current is carrying by a conductor, it produces a magnetic field around itself. So the scientist called Oersted Hans found out that whenever we will bring a magnetic compass needle near that current carrying conductor, it deflects, showing that there is a presence of magnetic field around or nearby any current carrying conductors. So this proved the experiment that there is a presence of a magnetic field around a current carrying conductor. Next, the highlight is magnetic field and magnetic field lines. So the magnetic field or magnetic field lines are the lines around a bar magnet or any magnet. So these field lines are also called as magnetic flux. So whenever you take a bar magnet, that bar magnet is having two poles. One is north pole and south pole. So around the bar magnet there are magnetic lines of force which are represented by circular lines around the bar magnet. These field lines never intersect each other, first of thing, and these field lines are concentrated near the poles, showing that the strength of the magnet is more near the poles. This is an important thing. If a question arises regarding the magnetic field of lines, then you should understand these magnetic field lines are around a bar magnet and these lines never intersect each other, and poles have higher concentration of these lines, showing that the strength of magnet is more near the poles apart from its other sides. So these magnetic lines of force start from north pole and terminate at south pole outside the magnet, but inside the magnet it is starting from south pole and terminating at north pole. The concentric circle finishes, means it starts outside the magnet, it starts from north pole and terminate at south pole, and inside the magnet it starts from south pole and terminate at north pole. A circle is completed. So these are called as magnetic lines of force. It is also called as magnetic flux. As the strength of the magnet increases, the number of field lines also increases. That means number of flux density also increases. The concentration of flux or magnetic lines of force increases as the magnetic strength increases. This you should know. So if any question arises, how the magnetic field lines gets increased or magnetic flux density increases, you should know that as the magnetic strength increases, the field line number of field lines also increases and the flux density also increases. Next we will go to right hand thumb rule. So right hand thumb rule states that whenever you hold a straight conductor with your right hand, thumb points towards the direction of the current. All other four fingers show the concentric circles of magnetic field around that straight conductor. It is like that. If you're holding the straight conductor like this, the thumb represents the direction of the current flowing in that straight conductor. All other forefinger represents the, if you circulate it like this, hold it like this, all these forefinger represents the concentric circles of magnetic field around that straight conductor. Whether you hold up like this or whether you hold like this, The thumb represents the direction of the current flowing. These fingers represent the direction of magnetic field around that conductor. Next is okay, magnetic field due to circular loop. So we know that magnetic field are concentric circles around a straight conductor. Next, magnetic field around a circular loop. If you make that conductor in a form of a circle, so how the magnetic field will be present? Near the point where the current starts to flow and it, there are concentric circles of the field. But in the center of the loop, there is a straight magnetic field, showing that the strength is more near the center and it is straight. So in the center of that loop, if this is a circle of that loop, in the center the magnetic field is straight, showing the strength is more in the center of that loop. Next we will see, okay, solenoid and electromagnet. Solenoid is nothing but insulated copper wire or wire wounded over a cylindrical cardboard or any cylindrical like pipe. So that wounded over of any cylindrical thing is called as solenoid. Otherwise, simply making a circular loop of a coil forms a solenoid. So when you connect the ends of this solenoid coil to a source where of a current, a DC source, then the current flows through the solenoid in a circular pattern and it behaves like a magnet. So it has two poles, north pole and south pole, and same as the magnetic field lines are present near a bar magnet outside the magnet, same way it starts from north pole and terminate at south pole. So this principle of solenoid is used in electromagnets. So to make electromagnet, the number of coils of turns of solenoid is made over a good metal, which is can be converted into magnet. So that type of metal is taken and concentrated a loop of circular coil is made over it, and this behaves like an electromagnet. So the purpose of solenoid is to make electromagnets, and these electromagnets are used for different purposes like making electric motors, electric generators, electric fans, mixer, grinder, and everywhere in domestic appliances we use the principle of solenoid, where we will wound a coil over a core and make it for electromagnet, and we will make it for different uses like making a motor, a dynamo, or magnets, electromagnets, and like that. Next we will go. So for solenoid we should understand, the question may come, how can we increase the field of the strength of the solenoid? So that can be increased by increasing the number of turns. So for example, if you take the number of turns is 100 of that coil, if you increase it to 200 or 300 or 1000 or number of times, as you increase the number of turns of that solenoid, the field strength of that coil increases. It also increases if the voltage applied to the solenoid increases or current through the solenoid is increased. So all these are the factor over which the current, the magnetic field of the solenoid depends, and we can increase the field strength of that solenoid by increasing the number of turns or voltage applied to the solenoid or the current flowing through the solenoid. So these all increases the field strength of the solenoid, and these are used to prepare electromagnets and all. Next we will see, okay, force on current carrying conductor. So the force on current conductor is a thing whenever you place a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. What happens is, when a current flows through that conductor, a turg is obtained, a push is obtained to that conductor, that is called as whenever you keep a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, there is a push or a torque obtained by. This principle is used to make electric motors. Whenever you place a core wounded by a insulated copper wire, which is kept in between a magnetic field and current is supplied, there is a torque obtained and electric current is converted into mechanical energy. So these are used in AC motors, DC motors, this principle. Next is Fleming's left hand rule, or it is also called as motor rule. So it states that when you align all the three fingers, that is a middle finger, forefinger, and thumb at right angles to each other, then what happens is that if you, for example, if I'll align all these three fingers, this is the middle finger, this is forefinger and thumb at right angles to each other. So this middle finger represents the input of the current, and this forefinger represents the magnetic field around the conductor, and the thumb represents the rotation of that core or a rotor over which a winding of copper insulated copper wire is done. So Fleming left hand rule is also called as motor rule. So in motor rule we will give an input current which is represented by the middle finger. So this is input current from the source. So we are giving a current to the coil which is wound over a rotor through any DC source, so the or AC source. It runs through that is represented by the middle finger. The current is given input to the rotor, and which is forefinger represents the magnetic field, which this rotor of winding is kept between magnetic field. So the forefinger represents the magnetic field, and the thumb, once the current is given to the core which is kept in between a magnetic field, the thumb represents the motion, means that rotor starts to rotate. Here the electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy. So this is called as Fleming's left hand rule or motor rule. Okay, next is electric motor. Electric motor, there are different types of motor. One is called as a DC motor, another is called as AC motor. DC motor, it consists of a split ring. AC motor, it consists of a slip ring. What is a split ring and slip ring? Once we will wound a copper coil, the ends of the copper coil has to be connected. So in DC motor we will connect it to a commutator part which is consisting of a split ring. The ring is not fully completed, it is split into two halves. So these two halves are connected. One end of the coil is connected to one half, another end of the coil is connected to another half. It behaves as a two split rings. Over this split ring, carbon brushes are sliding over. So whenever you give a current to this split ring through carbon brushes from an outside source in a DC motor. So the current from the outside source, DC current, comes to the carbon brushes, and through carbon brushes it comes to the split rings, and through split rings it is going inside the coil which is wound over a rotor. Now this rotor is kept in between a armature, you can tell it is kept in between a magnetic field. Now a torque is obtained, and that rotor or armature starts to rotate in between a magnetic field, and this is called as DC motor where split ring is used. So this is called as DC motor. Here Fleming's left hand rule is used. And in AC what happens, we are using slip full rings in a commutator part where the ends of the coil are connected. One end of the coil is connected to one full ring, and another end of the coil is connected to another full ring, and two carbon brushes are sliding over it. And in that type, what happened is, when you provide alternating current, this alternating current goes to the slip ring, slip ring, and the current flows through the coil. And what happens whenever this coil is kept in between a magnetic field, the rotor starts to rotate. So this is called as AC motor. So what is the difference? The difference may be asked in the exam, like what is the difference between AC motor and DC motor? The first difference is that the DC motor runs over DC source, that is DC power supply such as battery. It may come from solar panel also, but main source is DC battery. And what is the difference between AC? AC, the motor which runs over alternating current is called as AC motor. So these are the two difference. Next, DC motor consists of a split ring, and AC motor consists of a slip ring. Just a minute, battery is down. I'll connect it with a what to tell bank. Okay, now it is connected. So we were discussing about the AC motor and motor. In AC motor, we told that it is a slip ring, it is a split ring. So these are the two difference which may come in the exam. What is the difference between AC motor and DC motor? You should understand DC motor runs over DC source, that is DC power supply, battery, and AC motor runs over alternating source or alternating current. Next difference is a DC motor consists of split ring, AC motor consists of a slip ring. So these are the major differences. And next we will go for, okay, a motor. It works over the principle of Fleming's left hand rule, also called as motor rule. So next is Fleming's right hand rule. So the Fleming's right hand rule is also called dynamo rule. Dynamo means which can produce electricity by converting mechanical energy into electrical energy. In motor, what used to be happen? We used to convert electric energy into mechanical energy. Now here in dynamo, we are converting mechanical energy into electric energy. So mechanical energy means such as waterfall, turbine, where the water from high peaks fall over the turbine, hydroelectric power station fall over the turbine, where waterfall is converted into mechanical energy by converting it to fall over the turbine, and turbine rotates. These turbines are connected to rotor, or which are having a number of turns of copper coil kept in between a magnetic field, and EMF is generated by using the principle of Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. It states that whenever a coil of wire is kept in between a magnetic field and it is mechanically rotated, EMF is generated in the coil. So on the principle of this, hydroelectric power station works. So the dynamo works over this principle. So it may be mechanical energy is converted into electric energy. It may be used in hydroelectric power station, nuclear power station also is same is done. And next in your wind turbine, windmill or wind turbine, there also we will convert the wind energy into mechanical energy of a turbine or a wind fan, and which is connected to a rotor of a number of coils which are kept in between a magnetic field, and EMF is generated that we will use for the power source for charging battery and giving it supply to the household or domestic or industrial purpose. Next, okay, it is called as a dynamo rule, and it works under the principle of Fleming's right hand rule. In Fleming's right hand rule, again, what happens if you align all the three fingers like this, middle finger, forefinger, and thumb at right angles to each other, like this. So these are all right angles to each other. Then in a dynamo, what happens? We are converting a mechanical energy. So here it is, if it is like this, the thumb represents the direction of motion. So the motion means the rotor is made to move in between a magnetic field. The forefinger represents the magnetic field, the thumb represents the motion of the rotor, then the middle finger represents the generation of EMF in that coil. So it works over the principle of Fleming's right hand rule, like this. If thumb represents the motion, forefinger represents the direction of magnetic field, then the middle finger represents the production of or generation of EMF in that coil, which is taken out from the um, coil to the outside for purpose. So that is called as a dynamo rule or Fleming's right hand rule. So there are different questions arising on this chapter is draw a neat diagram of magnetic field lines around a bar magnet. So this type of question may come where they may ask draw a neat diagram of magnetic lines of force around a bar magnet. You should know that a magnetic field line starts from north pole and terminates at south pole. Inside the magnet is starting from south pole and terminating at north pole. So simply you have to draw and never intersect the line. These magnetic force lines of force never intersect each other. It is also called magnetic flux or flux density. It is more concentrated at the poles. You should know that. So you can draw a bar magnet and magnetic lines of force around a magnet. So this type of question may come in the exam. So draw magnetic lines of force around a bar magnet. Next, draw magnetic lines of force around a solenoid. Solenoid also you can draw a starting from North Pole and terminating at South Pole. So next is in the exam it comes mention the draw a diagram of Fleming's left hand rule. So you have to draw a diagram of Fleming's left hand rule showing that thumb, forefinger and middle finger at right angles to each other. In the motor rule, thumb represents the motion and middle finger represents the input current, and the forefinger represents the direction of magnetic field. Here electric energy is converted into mechanical energy. You have to mention that. So the middle finger represents the input of current, forefinger represents the direction of a magnetic field, thumb represents the direction of motion. So you can draw it neatly. Next they may ask Fleming's right hand rule. So it is a dynamo rule where you have to draw the all the three fingers at right angles to each other, where your middle finger represents the your thumb represents the motion, forefinger represents the direction of magnetic field, middle finger represents the direction of production of EMF in that coil according to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. What Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction states? It states that whenever a coil or a copper coil is kept in between a magnetic field and it is mechanically rotated, so magnetic field lines linking the coil changes. So means what happens when you rotate the coil in between a magnetic field, the flux linking the coil changes. So whenever there is the flux linking the coil changes, EMF is generated in the coil. So they may ask the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. You should know why there is a production of electricity in that coil. So why it is there is a production? Because the flux linking the coil changes. If you will not rotate it mechanically, the flux linking the coil does not change and EMF will not be generated. Only when the flux linking or magnetic fields of lines linking the coil changes, at that time only EMF is generated in the coil. So the question may arise like how the EMF is generated in the coil. You should know that EMF is generated in the coil whenever the flux linking the coil changes. If there is no change, no EMF generation. So this is the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So next they may ask draw a new diagram of electric motor with all its label its parts. You should know to draw a rectangular coil with the two ends, two split ring, and then connect it to a DC source. This rectangular coil is kept between two bar magnets. One is north pole, another is south pole. So you have to mention this is the north pole of the bar magnet, this is the south pole of the magnet. A rectangular coil A, B, C, D connected to a split ring. These split ring are slided over by the carbon brushes. Draw carbon brushes, and the external carbon brushes are connected to a DC source. You can mention a switch also there and connect it with a DC battery. So this completes your circuit diagram of a DC motor. Next they may ask draw a neat diagram of electric dynamo. So same principle, you can draw a rectangular coil in between a magnetic field and take to a split ring and carbon brushes, and external circuit is connected to a bulb. There you had connected it to a battery, showing that electric current is given there. Electric energy is converted into mechanical energy in motor. Here in dynamo, electric energy is converted into mechanical energy is converted into electric energy. So the output is connected to a bulb, and this core copper coil is rotated with a turbine. So this diagram you should know about a dynamo. So these two diagram you should know. Next, okay, we have finished the highlights of this chapter. Next we can search important question over this. Okay, you should know the One more thing, the magnetic effect of electric current, where experiment is there where the straight conductor is made to pass through a cardboard. They may ask this diagram where a straight conductor is passing through a cardboard and it is connected to a emitter and to a battery source. So here what is happening, the source current from the uh, wire is connected to a straight conductor which is passing through a cardboard. So this experiment shows that magnetic field of lines is around the cardboard. When you bring magnetic compass near it, the magnetic compass deflects, showing that there is a presence of magnetic field. You should know to draw this diagram. Next, okay, magnetic field lines around a bar magnet. This diagram also you should know that whenever you keep iron filings near a bar magnet, the iron filings align itself, forming a magnetic field lines around a bar magnet. Okay, next. Okay, there are some important points which we have to remember. That is, a compass needle is a small magnet. Okay, what is compass needle? A compass needle is nothing but a small magnet which has two poles, north and south pole. One end is pointing towards the north and another is pointing towards the south pole, showing the direction. So it is also used in finding the direction whenever we are moving. So the compass needle helps in many purpose, like in ships, a bigger ship, we will use compass to find the direction when we are flowing in the seas and oceans. Next point is, a magnetic field exists in the region surrounding a magnet in which the force of the magnet can be detected. So here it is telling the magnetic field lines are present around a bar magnet, and these magnetic field lines shows the strength of the magnet. So as the strength of magnet increases, the number of fields of lines also increases. Its concentration increases as magnetic strength also increases. So here next point is, field lines are used to represent the magnetic field. So these field lines or magnetic field lines of force represents the magnetic field around any magnet. Next is, the metallic wire carrying an electric current has associated with the magnetic field. The field lines along the wire consist of series of concentric circles whose direction is given by right hand rule. So means they are telling that any metallic wire or a conductor which is in which current is flowing, it is surrounded by magnetic field or concentric lines. Concentric means circles over that, concentric circles around that conductor, showing that magnetic field is present around a current carrying conductor. So next is, the electromagnet consists of a core of soft iron wrapped around with a coil of insulated copper wire. So electromagnet, how it is made? Electromagnet is made by making a insulated copper wire, wounding over that soft iron core, and these ends of the coil are connected to any electric source. Whenever a current flows through that coil wounded over a soft iron core, that iron core behaves like a magnet, and this principle is used to make an electromagnet. Next is, a generator converts a mechanical energy into electric energy. It works on the principle or basis of electromagnetic induction. So they are telling a generator converts a mechanical energy into electrical energy. It works over the principle of electromagnetic induction, that is a Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Next question is, in our house we receive electric in our house we receive AC electric power of 220 volt with a frequency of 50 hertz. One of the wire is the supply, that is a red insulation, is called as a live wire. The other one is a black insulation, is called as a neutral wire. The potential difference between two is 220 volt. The third is the earthing wire, the green insulation. This is connected to metallic body and the deep inside the earth. It is used for safety measure to ensure that leakage of current in the metallic body does not give any shear shock to the user. So they are making us to understand the domestic wiring in a household. So here we are taking the connection from the outside source, from where the power supply is coming from the pole, electric pole, from where the power station give the supply. So this supply gives the from the pole we will take two wires. So one is a live and another is, so another is one is live wire, and another is neutral wire, and we will connect it to the meter power supply. So there are through the power supply there is two input, one is the live and a neutral, another we are taking output for live and neutral. Here they are telling the live wire is taken as a red color, the color coding of that live wire is red color, neutral is a black color coding, and earthing is taken as a green color coding. So how earthing is being done? Earthing is done by making a, earthing is making is done outside the house by making a copper coil to get in, making a wire connection where we will dig a hole, or we make a copper plate to grounded over that earth, which will behave as a earthing. We will use materials which are used for good for earthing, like charcoal, salt, and other material, and make earthing point where earthing point of that connection. So there we will connect earthing conductor, and to that we will connect a earthing wire, which is a color, green color coding. So we have three wires there. One is a live wire, red color, another is a black wire, which is a neutral wire, third is green wire, which is called as earthing connection. So whenever the connections are made in the house, so all the domestic appliances are connected in parallel circuits, that is they are connected to neutral and a main power supply, that is a red wire, that is a live or live connection wire. So these are parallel. Always remember that we are connecting the switch in the live wire. There is no leakage of current. There is no leakage of current. Or fan or any domestic appliances, the switch is always connected to the live wire. When you switch off, the current flowing through the appliances fully stops, the circuit breaks. Always the switch is connected to the live wire, not a neutral connection. And the earthing is made, uh, by making earthing is made by connecting it to a green wire. So these three connections will be there in the switch, where there are three connection. One is live wire red color, one is a neutral black wire, and a third one is your earthing. So these connections are made. So they have explained this how the domestic wiring is being done. Next they have explained why fuse is the most important safety device used for protecting the circuit due to short circuiting or overloading of the circuit. So in the domestic wiring we use fuse. The fuse is used to protect the circuit whenever there is a surge voltage coming inside the circuit. So there is a disturbance, the some calls are coming to me, so because of that there is a disturbance interrupted in between. So I attend to the call. Now the disturbance is over, now we can continue the class. So here the what happened, fuse, I was explaining about fuse. Fuse, what happened when you are using, why you are using fuse. Fuse is used in domestic wiring or any devices. What happens there, whenever there is a surge voltage or in a domestic, first we will take as a domestic thing. So why we will connect fuse, like surge voltage, if they from the power source or from the outside source, like from pole, if there is a surge voltage coming, this fuse breaks off, protecting all your internal circuit or circuit wiring of that house, domestic wiring. So there will be no effect to the wiring, and your appliances which are connected, such as TV, fridge, and all other appliances which are connected to the that wiring will not get damaged through that surge voltage, because that fuse breaks off when the surge voltage comes. The fuse connected in the meter board breaks off due to that voltage, and all your wiring and your devices which are connected to that wiring using plug, like fridge, your TV, your computers, and all gets protected. If fuse is not used, all the electronic device will get damaged, because the source voltage comes and there is no protective device, there is no circuit breaker. The all the voltages flow to the wire, and it goes to whatever the appliances is connected. That voltage goes to that appliances, because the capacity of that appliance is for a lower voltage. The surge voltage damage the devices, whether it is fridge, TV, or any other electronic devices, it will damage that. So it is very important to connect a fuse in a domestic wiring, whether it may be a domestic wiring or a industrial wiring. So wherever the wiring is been done, fuse has to be connected, and always the fuse is connected to both the wires, that is for neutral also, for live also. So we have to connect two fuse for neutral and for live. From meter, if we have the two wire which is coming going inside the house wiring, out to both the line, that neutral and phase and neutral, both we have to connect to fuse, and after fuse we will connect it to the other wirings and all, where parallel connections are made. So fuse is also important. Or fuse is also used in inside the devices, like whether it may be your fridge, a TV, or other electronic devices. Inside them also there is a fuse which is used to protect that devices from surge voltage. So these are the some important questions which we have to know, or the important highlights of the chapter of called magnetic effect of electric current. Next, there are some important questions we can discuss that. A device used to produce electric current is called, so the device used to produce electric current is called as generator. The essential difference between AC generator and DC generator is that, so what is the difference between AC generator and DC generator? First of all, the difference is AC generator produces alternating current, DC generator produces direct current. At the time of short circuit, the current in the circuit, so at the time of short circuit, the current in the circuit, what happens? The current in the circuit increases. Short circuit, what happens? Whenever there is a short circuit, high current flows through the circuit. State whether the following statement is true or false. An electric motor converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. An electric motor, so it is false. An electric motor converts mechanical energy into electrical energy, it is false. Actually, motor converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. Which of these following correctly describes the magnetic field near a long straight conductor? So near the long straight conductor, magnetic field of lines are concentric circles near the magnetic around the straight conductor. So these are some important points, and next we will go. Next is, how does solenoid behave like a magnet? Can you determine the north and south pole of current carrying solenoid when with the help of a bar magnet? Explain. So solenoid also behaves like a bar magnet. When a current flows through that solenoid, it has two poles, north and south pole. and magnetic fields or lines of force are starting from north pole and terminating at south pole around the solenoid. So it behaves like a bar magnet. In the same way as bar magnet is having north and south pole, around that bar magnet there are magnetic lines of force from starting from north pole and terminating at south pole. Same thing happens in the solenoid also. Name some devices in which electric motors are used. So electric motors are used in different materials, like it is used in electric fans, it is used in electric trains where motor are used, and in floor mill, your mixer grinder, and all those use electric motors. So some more, there are different materials we will use electric motors in: table fan, your ceiling fan, electric train, mixer grinder, and floor mill, in industries, in okay, in other sieving machine also we will use, where we will sieve the clothes and all. There also we will use motors and all. Explain the underlying principle and working of electric generator drawing the label diagram. What is the function of brushes? Um, okay, here they are asking underlying principle of a electric generator. You should know to draw a generator with a split rings or a slip ring, where we will convert a mechanical energy into electrical energy. So they are asking what is the function of brushes. So the carbon brushes here are used to remove the electric current from that generator. These carbon brushes are connected to the slip rings in a generator, or a split ring in a DC generator, and a slip ring in a AC generator. These slip rings, these carbon brushes are sliding over these split ring or slip ring in the commutator part. Whenever the EMF is generated in the coil, these are taken out with the help of carbon brushes, which are sliding over the split or slip rings in a split ring in a DC generator, and a slip ring in AC generator. So these are sliding over that what you will call split or slip rings. So when these rotor is rotating, that time these carbon brushes are sliding over. It is slightly touch and it is sliding over that slip ring or split ring, and the current EMF generated in the coil is removed with the help of split ring or slip ring, and it is transferred to the carbon brushes which are sliding over it, and with the help of external wiring, that current is taken outside. Next is, what is the function of earth wire? Why it is necessary to uh, earth metallic appliances? So what is the function of earth wire? Earthing wire is done to protect the circuit or surge voltage which is coming in while there is a thundering outside the house or building. What happens? The surge voltage may come through the wiring connections, which may damage your appliances and circuit or wiring in the household or industrial wiring. To protect that, we will use earthing circuits. Also devices, to protect the devices also we are using earthing connection, so that most of the electric current which are surge voltage can flow through the earthing wire and ground it to the earth. So that for that purpose we are making earthing connections in the industrial or domestic wiring. And also when there is no thundering or no surge voltage also, if there is a short circuit due to live a wire directly connecting to neutral wire, due to in some circumstances, what happens, extra voltage directly flow to the earth, and your wiring is being protected, and your domestic appliances is protected, and it will also protect the human being from getting electric shocks and all. What is the necessity of earth metallic appliances? So all the appliances are been connected with a earthing connection. Why? Because when you connect it with the earthing connection, what happens? Whenever there is a internal short circuit, the person who are using that appliances will not get a shock if it is connected to a earthing connection, because a maximum voltage or a current flows directly to the earthing, and the person may not get shock, and the device is also protected because the surge voltage or the heavy current which is flowing due to short circuit will flow to the earthing, hence protecting the person and also protecting the appliances. So for that purpose we use earthing connection in the wiring. So thank you very much, friends. We completed the highlights of the chapter called magnetic effect of electric current. In between there was a disturbance because there was a call coming to me, so there was a disturbance for that. Sorry for that, and next time we will continue with other chapter also. Thank you very much.